Hey love, I'm so glad you're here. Alright, I'm gonna talk you through what I did here in case you want to recreate this or have it in your memory bank for when your muse visits you. My name is Francesca if it's our first time meeting, and I flip furniture for its art. Okay, the first layer I'm pouncing on here is the mixture of the color Caviar by Dixie Belle and a shit ton of baking soda. Alright, add the baking soda gradually to the paint until you are happy with its consistency. Remember to save paint to actually paint with later on. You don't need much of this at this point. Just separate some paint and add baking soda gradually, like I said. And once you find that consistency that you're looking for, pounce it on. I am using the brushes here by Daydream Apothecary. It's pretty much like a dense brush. You don't need this brush particularly, but if you find something within this size, I highly recommend it just because you cover more and you can move faster. If all you have is a chippy brush, that's perfectly fine too. You can actually brush it on and it does the same thing. But I feel like pouncing it on really helps to get that texture that you're looking for. I love using this formula because, as you can tell, the top of the dresser is pretty scratched up, and honestly I didn't want to spend too much time on this, so I didn't want to sand it down to redo it, none of that. So this mixture helps you hide all those imperfections that don't really damage the piece, it's just scratches. So once you finish that, you see all that, you don't want that. And to sand it down, it would be like a lot of work, which honestly I don't want to do right now because my ADHD has gotten the best of me lately and I just don't want to deal with it. And you can see there, like on the mirror part, there's like a piece of veneer missing. So this mixture really is your friend. Here, I don't know what they did there. I don't know if they replaced the veneer, but I would have had to do so much work just to even all that out. So this is your best friend. And I understand that it creates texture so that when you touch it, it feels rough. But if you just lightly sand it down with like a 220 grit sandpaper, it doesn't feel gritty or anything like that. So I didn't do it for the whole piece, just on the top. I did sand it down a little bit just to get rid of like that harsh texture. Other than that, it's a lifesaver, my friend. The rest of this piece was in really great shape, so it didn't necessarily need all this texture, but it definitely helps. Here I'm using another brush by Daydream Apothecary. It's just smaller. I'll leave the links and the names of the brushes in the description box for you. But see, the texture is just covering that right there. And again, it's not broken, it's just a piece of veneer that's missing. So I could have easily put Bondo on it and spend more time on this piece, but again, my ADHD is just not being my friend. So the more I add to my workload, the less I do it, or the longer it takes me. This piece could have taken easily 2 days, but it took me at least a week because of my ADHD paralysis. So the less I have to do, the better. And this mixture really does help speed the process, speed the time. And I did this in the mirror as well. Again, it didn't need it, but it does tie it all together. So this was a great idea. Okay, now this part was completely unnecessary. But I felt that I needed to put the drawer stoppers in a different place. All I needed to do was just pounce it right back in its original place, which I ended up doing. It just needed to dig a little deeper. Now these are drawer stoppers, and they have pointy things going down, as you can see here, and that's what, obviously that goes into the wood, and then the other part helps the drawer from not go all the way in. I did not find these at Ace. I looked at the Home Depot and Lowe's website and I did not find them. The only place I found these in were on Amazon. So check the description box and you will see the link to that. These are, I guess, specifically for antique pieces of furniture. These were the originals that were on the piece of furniture, but I had some missing, so I was like, oh no. However, you can find something similar that is for stopping drawers, but they seem a little complicated. So sometimes you got to screw them in or nail them in, which is basically what I'm doing here. But it's just, they're plastic and I don't know, it's too much. And again, ADHD is a real thing. And again, the more work I got to do, the less I want to do it. So I got these on Amazon. I think they ship like the next day or within 2 days. So that's great. I guess they're specifically made for antique furniture, so there's that. But you can use them anywhere in all your pieces of furniture. I really like them. They were easy to install once I used that plier that I use for making jewelry. But yeah, this was easy, inexpensive, so check out the link in the description box for that. Okay, before we decoupage, something I didn't do that I highly recommend, lightly scuff sand your drawers or whatever it is that you are going to put this paper on. I don't think it's necessary, but I think it will help. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, for the rest of the furniture, because even though, you know, I did the Caviar, it's still not fully covered. So here I am using Midnight Sky by Dixie Belle, and I really wanted Caviar, but I somehow grabbed the wrong bottle, but it worked out pretty well. So I think the website says this is like a blue black, but honestly it doesn't look that way in person. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I really like this. Caviar is a very like matte ultra black. I really like it. But this one is like right next to it. I didn't mind this at all. So I am going to do 2 coats on the top and the sides and everything else that I covered with the baking soda mixture with this color, with Midnight Sky. For this piece of furniture, I only used the 8-ounce bottle. So a little goes a long way. Always keep a spray bottle with you. This helps the paint slide better. So it works in your favor. Don't use too much because then you're gonna thin it out and then you gotta do more layers of paint, and nobody wants to do that unless you really have to. So this worked great. This is what it's looking like so far. So yeah, and then I'm going in with Big Top to decoupage, like as a decoupage for the paper. You're gonna see that I try to do the whole thing here first, but that didn't work in my favor. So I would suggest just go section by section for this, because one, you don't want it all to stick. You do have room for play here, but not a lot, because if you put a lot of product like decoupage or like a sealer or something to decoupage your paper, it will get stuck, it will get wet, and it will start to tear up. So just keep that in mind. You could do what I did here, but I think this was a waste of time. Another suggestion that I have, don't start from the top, start from the side, because every time I start something from the top, it always ends up lopsided. How? I don't know. Because, you know, gravity is supposed to be working in our favor, but it didn't. There's ways around this to help, like, you know, to help mask it or whatever, but I think this could have came out just slightly better if I had started from the sides and then work my way to the inside of the piece of furniture. So here is when I noticed that I screwed up and I should have just done section by section because the paper was starting to lift up. Now you're decoupaging, so you're always gonna put your decoupage glue or whatever down first, and then you're gonna put it on top to seal it. So that's what I'm doing here. You're gonna get wrinkles, you're gonna get bubbles. It's okay because this is rustic. It doesn't have to be perfect unless you want it to. So if you don't mind this, then don't worry about it. You can use a credit card, you can use one of these paint thingies to put this down. Use whatever you have on hand, man, because listen, just you don't need everything, okay? But here you can see how the paper is like going to the side and it's not going straight. So I wish I would have started exactly from the edge and work my way in. If you have an X-Acto knife, this is going to help you to cut the paper in those edges, and then you want to line up your other piece of paper. This didn't come out perfect for me. It was bugging me, but honestly you can't really tell unless you're like really looking for it. So, but you really do want to line up your paper as best as you can. Because the other paper was like slanted a little bit, it made this a little challenging, but I got it to go, you know, match up as best as possible. Again, you can't really tell unless you're looking directly in it. Once you find it, you find it, but you turn away and look right back, you really can't tell. So this is one of the things though that to keep in mind if you're using decoupage paper. Just make sure your pattern aligns in wherever it is that you're putting it on. If you have help, that's gonna help, because holding this together was a challenge. I asked Nico to help me out. He said nope, you're on your own. I was like, all right, whatever. So oh, there he is, there's his hand. I knew he'd help me at some point, but then he's like, nope, peace out. So he let me to it, but it was good help. But yeah, have fun with this, okay? And if you don't like it, just take it off. Now, of course, it's money, but you have to learn. You have to experience it to know, one, if you like it, two, if you can actually do it, and three, you know, with practice you get better and better and better. So there's that. Okay, here you can see right where I'm pointing, where it's like it looks slanted, dude. So you can see it, but then you can't see it. But here's the close-up. I tried to get this as close as possible, and I did in some of the areas, but you know, you win some, you lose some. But it's okay. It looked, I'm happy with it. I really like it, so I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. And this is my first time decoupaging paper, so I'm really not mad. All right, I did lose one of the knobs because it was really stuck on there. I guess this piece is really old. I can't tell you when it was made or anything because there's nothing, not even a name. So can you imagine that flower with that? No, I can't. Anyways, so I thought I was gonna have to do like all of them, but I ended up not doing that. I ended up keeping the original knobs from the top and then just replacing the 4 bottom ones with these gray ones, and I'm happy with it. All right, then you want to sand down the extra pieces of paper once it's dried off. This is how I'm doing it. This is how I've seen other girls do it, so it worked pretty good. And if anything is standing out, just go right back with your big top or your decoupage or your sealant and then just glue it back on. It's no big deal. Just make sure you do that before, you know, you put it up for sale or putting it back in your room or whatever it is that you're going to do with your makeover. But yeah, all I'm using here is a 220 grit sandpaper, and yeah, I didn't sand over the actual design just because I didn't want to do all that. I didn't want that rustic look, so just keep that in mind. Then I'm sanding in the inside of the drawers. This is pretty much the last thing I had to do. Like I said, these are old. I think that's just stain from the original stain, but I didn't like it. It looks messy, so I'm sanding it down as much as I can. And then I'm gonna go over it with some wax that you're gonna see right now, or not, because I'm sealing the piece first with Big Top. This is Big Top by DIY Paint. It's water-based. I really like this. All you have to do is just, you don't even need that much, honestly. What I like about it though is that it dries up in 30 minutes and then you could just go right back and do your second coat. I didn't do a second coat for the whole thing. I did do a second coat for the top though, just because it's the most used area. So honestly, that's all you really need sometimes, unless it's like a very high used area of some sort, then definitely go with 2 coats, but 1 was enough here, and you can see the difference. It does go in cloudy like that, but it seals clear, so no biggie there. Okay, I'm going in with Big Mama's Butter by Dixie Belle Paint. This, I ran out of it, but I did get to do both drawers, so I'm really happy with that. This really helps just give the wood life again, like it hydrates it again, so highly recommend that. And this is how it turned out. I am so happy with it. I'm in love with it, actually. If I had any use for it, I would keep it. I think I say that about all of my makeovers, but it's true. I can't help it. Anyways, I hope you really like it. Let me know in the comments if you would have done anything different. I don't know. Whatever you like to say, just be nice. If you'd like, subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up, please. If you would just leave a comment, that would really help me out. And yeah, I really love this. I'm gonna do a tutorial on how to do that in the mirror, so just stay tuned for that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. And yeah, if you do anything like this, let me know. Tag me in it. I would love to see it. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.